JBN, we keep you informed. Coming up in the news today, fatal accident in Trelawney. Gunmen kill man before his wife in Clarendon. Former cricketer found dead in Clarendon. Chef shot dead in St. Anne. Two murders there within 3 days. And a fake recruitment ad causes thousands to descend on JDF headquarters. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items. Major seizure of counterfeit goods in downtown Kingston. There's been another major seizure of counterfeit goods by the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC. Fake clothing and shoes valued at more than $20 million were found during a raid yesterday at a store on East Queen Street in downtown Kingston. The establishment is located near CTOC's head office. Head of the Intellectual Property Unit at CTOC, Assistant Superintendent Victor Barrett, says one person was taken into custody. CTOC says headway has been made in the clampdown on the sale of illegal goods in Jamaica. Barrett says some of the major players are no longer involved in the illicit activity. Because if you notice, there's been a lull. Some of the major players are out of the business. They are finding new avenues to sustain themselves. But we still have merchants who continue to indulge in counterfeit goods, and as a result, we have a mandate and we are carrying out our mandate, he said. Guns seized in Little London, Westmoreland. Police seized a firearm and several rounds of ammunition in Mango Hall District, Little London, Westmoreland on Saturday. The Little London police say that about 10 p.m. officers were on patrol in the area when a motorcycle with two men aboard was observed speeding. According to the police, a single-action 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 4 9mm rounds of ammunition was discovered on the scene after the men crashed the motorcycle into an embankment and fled. No one was arrested in connection with the seizure. Fatal accident in Trelawney. A fatal collision claimed the lives of two men in Trelawney on Sunday, March 17. The deceased have been identified as 24-year-old Ramon Spence of Wakefield and Sanjay Richards of Deeside, both in the parish. Reports from the Falmouth police are that about 9:50 p.m., a Toyota Hiace motor truck was traveling from Wakefield to Deeside when there was a collision involving two motorcycles traveling in the opposite direction. The drivers of the motorcycles sustained serious injuries and were transported to hospital where their deaths were confirmed. The driver of the motor truck was breathalyzed and warned for prosecution pending further investigations. Gunmen kill man before his wife in Clarendon. As gunmen continue their bloodletting in Clarendon amid calls for a state of emergency to be called in the parish, police investigators were called to another murder scene on Sunday morning. This was after gunmen shot and killed a man at his home in the full view of his common-law wife. The deceased has been identified as 36-year-old Edley Brown, alias Gregory, of Salt River District in southeast Clarendon. Police reports are that about 7:15 a.m., Brown and his common-law wife were in their yard when a car drove up. It is alleged that two men alighted from the vehicle and shot Brown several times. His spouse was not harmed in the attack. The gunmen then fled the area in the motor car. The police were alerted and Brown was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament, MP for Central Clarendon, Mike Henry, in response to the ongoing bloodletting across the parish, especially the capital Maypen, which essentially makes up his constituency, has indicated that he has sought the assistance of Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, to help in finding measures to address the crime-plaguing areas of the constituency. One of the measures Henry has proposed is to establish a temporary police post in the community of Effortville in Maypen, where two persons who were murdered just over a week ago represented the latest fatalities across the town, which included a triple murder just days before. At least 3 houses were also reportedly set ablaze by criminals in the recent Effortville flare-up. Former cricketer found dead in Clarendon. The police have identified the body of a retired cricketer, which was found in Comfort District, Clarendon over the weekend. The deceased has been identified as William Hay, 69-year-old resident of the parish, who represented Jamaica at the game in the 1970s. Sources said Hay also represented the parishes of St. Catherine and Clarendon in his earlier years. He was a man who played cricket and was well known to many persons in the community, former Deputy Mayor of Maypen, Ufel Purcell, said. Reports from the Fort Potts police are that about 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, residents heard explosions and raised an alarm. On their arrival, a house was seen on fire. The fire department was contacted and cooling down operations were conducted. Hayes' body was found inside a room in the raised house with chop and gunshot wounds to his upper body. His body was removed to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. Chef shot dead in St. Anne. 2 murders there within 3 days. A 32-year-old chef who was found with bullet wounds on Saturday night was one of 2 persons who were killed in separate incidents in the Garden Parish of St. Anne within a 3-day period. The deceased chef has been identified as Denard Smith of Parrytown in the parish. Police reports are that about 11 p.m. on Saturday, Smith was selling jerk chicken at his gate when he was pounced upon by armed men. He was shot several times in the face before his assailants escaped from the area. The police were summoned and Smith was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police have since launched an investigation into the killing. Meanwhile, lawmen are searching for a man who chopped to death 51-year-old Oral Williams during a dispute in Pineapple Place, Ocharias on Thursday. Reports are that about 8:35 a.m., Williams, a laborer of Ocharias, and the man got into an argument. During the exchange, the man reportedly used a machete to chop Williams several times before fleeing the scene. The police were summoned and upon their arrival, Williams was rushed to the St. Anne's Hospital where he died while undergoing treatment. Fake recruitment ad causes thousands to descend on JDF headquarters. The Jamaica Defense Force JDF is reporting that it is probing the origin of false social media postings about a recruitment exercise by the Army which caused thousands of unsuspecting persons to descend on its headquarters yesterday. In a statement, the JDF says approximately 2,000 persons turned up at Upper Camp in St. Andrew to be interviewed for acceptance into its Jamaica National Service Corps program. The JDF typically interviews and tests approximately 60 to 80 applicants daily, and so today's turnout of almost 2,000 was extremely unusual. It says many of those who turned up traveled from as far away as Westmoreland and St. James. In considering their fate, the JDF opted to register and process some of their applications. This, the JDF warned, is not the norm, but was done simply out of consideration for the distance that they have traveled. The JDF is warning the public to be on the lookout for misleading information about recruitment. The Jamaica Defense Force is today urging persons interested in applying to the Jamaica National Service Corps (JNSC) program to be careful about what they read on social media about the program and the application process, and to be wary of unscrupulous persons posing as JDF recruiters. The warning came in the wake of approximately 2,000 persons wrongly turning up at Upper Camp yesterday to be interviewed for acceptance into the JNSC program. According to Major Baskel Jarrett, Civil Military Corporation and the Media Affairs Officer for the JDF typically interviews and tests approximately 60 to 80 applicants daily, and so today's turnout of almost 2,000 was extremely unusual. Before anyone is called to do the interview and the test, they would first be required to complete the application process online before they are notified to come in. A large number of persons who showed up today had neither applied online nor received a phone call, and when we inquired as to what prompted them to show up, we were shown a social media posting that was circulating online. The JDF did not put out that post, and so we are warning applicants that they should only rely on information posted on official JDF social media platforms and mainstream news for information relating to their application or the application process. Among the 2,000 applicants who showed up today were persons who were traveling from as far away as Westmoreland and St. James, and in considering their fate, the JDF opted to register and process some of their applications. This, the JDF warned, is not the norm, but was done simply out of consideration for the distance that they had traveled. As a rule, though, all persons applying to the JNSC program must register initially on the JDF's recruiting website, jointhejdf.com, and wait to be called. Major Jarrett added that while the JDF is buoyed by the show of support and is encouraged by the interest that young Jamaicans have shown for the JNSC program, we're also reminding applicants that there's no application fee or any cost associated with applying, and so persons should be immediately suspicious of anyone trying to hijack their enthusiasm by selling them a spot in the organization. The JDF says it will be investigating the origin of the false social media posting and will update the public accordingly. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.